Alright, welcome to round one. Again, not very stoked about the deck. I think it came out pretty poorly. I felt that same way about my Simic deck, which I actually ended up winning the 8-4 with. That one is not recorded, you'll just have to take my word for it. But I felt like that deck sucked and I'm probably losing round one, and ended up winning. But I don't really think that's going to happen again. This is a questionable keep for sure. It's probably wrong of me, but I'd much rather keep a 5-land hand than like a 1-land hand, or, I mean, unless I have a quick Boros deck, 2 lands that I can play everything. Especially because if you start flooding out, you're really in trouble. I'm going to play the Skinbrand Goblin because otherwise I'm just going to do nothing for several turns. And if he doesn't play something, we can get in for a couple damage, and if he does play something, hopefully this will trade with it. And we found someone else playing Gruul, so not really sure where they were at in the draft, but that does explain. Let me know what you think the signals were. Maybe I should have gone somewhere else. I tried to take the Grizzly Spectacle, pick 2, thinking that, I'm not going to force Gruul just because I opened a Clan Defiance, and I wouldn't have minded playing Boros, and I would have just completely played Orzhov, or, I mean, Dimir looked open, I guess, but didn't really want to jump into Dimir. Because most of the cards that were there weren't super powerful, there were just lots of blue and black cards. Alright, so at this point, he's starting off pretty slowly as well. And we're just going to go ahead and attack for 2, play the Scab Clan Charger. The Ember Beast can't do anything at the moment. That's obviously the drawback to Ember Beast, and it is a real concern with Ember Beast, is that it doesn't do anything unless you have another creature to attack or block with it. And unless it's a decent creature, you probably are going to have to trade anyway, unless you're just attacking with a bunch of big stuff, which is obviously strong. The good news is we're going to get a Ripscale Predator out in 2 turns. There's some removal, like Massive Raid, or Ground Assault like we have, or Clan Defiance. I mean, there's some removal, but there's not a ton of removal, so this guy might do some serious damage, especially if we can get him out in Active Treason, a blocker. It might be enough to get us in there. Alright, so now we can steal something with an Active Treason. We could stop drawing lands. That would be my goal, is to stop drawing lands now. I know I'm running 18, can't really complain too much about drawing lands. If you run 18 of them, you're going to draw them. That's why you play 18 of them. I mean, I could attack here and bluff a Blood Rush, but I don't think I want to do that. I could steal the Ember Beast, but I think I'd be better off trying to do that. Trying to do an Active Treason when I might be able to swing for some sort of lethal damage. I don't think doing that right now is good. If he swings with the Disciple, he almost certainly will have a Blood Rush or some sort of trick, but I am going to block with the Scab Clan Charger. I mean, that's, if you're going to play a 2-4 guy, you probably want to block with him. Not always true, but alright. Not sure if this guy's deck, it's probably better than ours. Ours isn't all that great. Alright, so here we're just going to play the Ripscale Predator and say go. The hope is that he will create some problems. Didn't see any Gruul Charms. I actually like Gruul Charm. Before the set actually came out and had a chance to play with it, it seemed like Gruul Charm was pretty weak. just kind of situational, but from playing with it, I actually like it a lot, especially because with Gruul, a lot of your guys are just clogging up the ground. So you can either kill their air guys who are killing you, or you can just get in unblocked and win the game, which is what I usually use it for. It's a lot stronger than I had originally given it credit for, so... Alright, well, he's got 2 first strikers, which means that they could just first strike this guy and block him. I do have a burst of strength to make him 7/6. In fact, that would, assuming no tricks on his part, if he double blocks here, trying to kill him, then I make my guy 7/6. I clear out both of his guys, and my guy doesn't die. That's if he just double blocks. I guess he could triple block, or he could block with everybody, but if I had some sort of big blood rusher, it'd just be a huge blowout. Let me see what I want to do here. I could also active treason the Ember Beast and swing with everybody. See, if I active treason the Ember Beast and swing with everybody, then he blocks. He either double blocks here and tries to first strike my guy to death, which would be awesome for us. Or, I mean, I guess I could take the Ember Beast and not swing with this guy. Then he can't really interact too great. Then my hand is completely spent, but if that works out, a pretty strong position. If he's without these 2 guys, I mean, these 2 guys could also block to trade with him later, I guess. Tough choice here. I think that's what I'm going to do, is active treason the Ember Beast. Swing with these 3. I mean, I guess the other option is he could double block the Scagpan Charger. And he would be able to first strike him to death. But then he takes 9? That doesn't seem great for him. This might be a little aggressive. Maybe I should just hold the ground, not try to put on pressure, but I'm about out of gas. I mean, maybe just waiting back is the right play, but let's see what happens. The hope is that he double blocks here and that he doesn't have a way to actually first strike my guy to death. Alright, well, that's what we were hoping for. The other hope is that there's no there's no trick. If he has his own burst of strength or something like that, then we're in serious trouble. If this works as we drew it up, and these guys both die and my guy lives, yeah, okay. Alright. A pit fight or something? Trying to think of what else there is that's an instant here. And a pit fight. Alright. So that obviously worked out poorly. I think based on our hand and what we're looking down, I still think that was worth the risk. I didn't see a single pit fight in the draft. Obviously, it's only a common, and this guy probably took it. That's probably why our Gruul deck is not that strong, because his is probably better than ours. But I think if we could have gotten that through and could have wiped both those guys, we would have a strong chance of winning. Now, things are not looking so hot. But, you know, them's the breaks. Sometimes you got to take a little bit of a risk, and it seemed to me like that was worth doing. I mean, the pit fight was going to be good for him no matter when he played it, so pit fight's just really strong. So here we're going to take 8. Yep, going to take 8. Definitely not super happy with the strength of this deck in general. Again, maybe that was a bad play. Obviously, it turned out badly. It was a bit risky. But, we talked about some of the possible instant spells that could really ruin us. Alright, he's got the other Guild Mage. So his deck definitely is better than ours, for sure. So things are not looking good. Things are definitely looking like for sure we're going to lose this game. But hey, you win some, you lose some. If we get last 6 or 7 more turns and draw all lands and a Clan Defiance, we will win. Clearly that's not going to happen. Let's see what else he's got. Maybe we'll get a little more information here. Alright. So far we've seen white for Basilica Guards. There's got to be something good in there in white. He's got to be playing something good in white. Holy Mantle, I guess, is okay. Maybe we want to bring in Naturalize for Holy Mantle or Prophetic Prism if he's stuck on mana. I'm not really sure about that attack. I guess he's worried about a Wrecking Ogre or something. I mean, there's no reason not to get in there with a whole bunch of guys. I don't think. I'm not even going to play the Ember Beast. I lose next turn. All he's got to do is swing and I lose. But I'm going to make him do it. By not just conceding. We saw a Holy Mantle and a Basilica Guards. So, I mean, it's clear we're not winning. But, I'm going to try to get as much information as we can. Maybe Naturalize is good. Take out land 18, put in Naturalize. It wouldn't really have mattered in this game. We're just going to lose no matter what. But and regarding the Ripscale Predator play, I mean, if I didn't do that, I would have a Ripscale Predator, obviously. But he still has a Pit Fight, so my guy's a 6/5. I would still have a Burst of Strength to make him 7/6, but I block, like an Ember Beast, for example, if he attacks with my 6/5. So he deals 3 damage, and then he can Pit Fight someone else. I mean, maybe I kill a couple of his guys, but based on the way this is looking and the cards we have, it definitely doesn't look like it was going to matter. I still think it was worth giving it a try. Obviously, it backfired. I still think if that would have worked, it would have been our best chance of winning, as our deck is pretty underpowered. His deck's clearly better. Maybe that play was terrible, but trying to salvage a win however possible. So game 1 is going to go down as a defeat for sure. Let's see, for the sideboard, I don't think Riot Gears are really all that great. I could run a Naturalize. I mean, really, I don't even have any sideboard cards other than Naturalize. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in. It'll only work good on Prism if he's just completely screwed on mana, but it will work on a Holy Mantle, and I can maybe trick him, get in there. We'll go to game 2. I don't have a great feeling about it, but you know, it is what it is, and we'll see what we can do. Like I said, I'm going to put all my videos I decide to record up, so even if we just completely get blown out here, it'll be my actual drafting. I'm not going to pick and choose. So anyway, we'll go to game 2. Alright, here we are in game 2. See if, well, I mean, it's definitely better than the last hand, for sure. So let's run it out there, see what happens. He does have removal, Pit Fight, so playing a Scar Guildmage early may be a mistake. We'll see. That's a cool looking forest. I like it. Alright, I think I'm just going to play the Skinbrand Goblin. Like I said, the Guildmage is a ton better, and this guy has Blood Rush. But this guy is definitely better late game, and I want to make sure I keep him alive. But I will play him if I have nothing else to play, which is the case. So he's good enough that if he's got removal, it'll probably bait it out of him. And like I said, I'd rather just play him than not play him. I mean, I could wait 2 turns, play an Ivy Lane Denizen, and then put a counter on one of my guys, which is probably fine, but alright, looks like he stalled out a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and, I mean, I could definitely try to get in there with a land right now, but I'd rather just develop my board. I mean, he could have something for this, but at least I have the Burst of Strength if I need it. Okay, so that's one way to win. Not that I've won yet, but your opponent only drawing forests, and oh, okay. Well, I spoke too soon. But I'll take that way of winning. It's fine by me. There's the Fire Fist Striker we passed. Alright, so now he's got a 2-3 guy. I still probably will attack. Let's see what we want to do here. Okay, so I could just make a forest a 4/4 and swing with a couple guy. Like, I could make my forest a 4/4 and swing with my 4/4, my 2/3, and the other thing I could do is active trees in this guy. Swing with everyone. I swing for 2, 4, 6, 8. Get in for 8 because I can make this guy not be able to block. I think I'd rather wait a turn to do that though. But I am going to play my forest, make my forest a 4/4, and attack with all my guys with a Burst of Strength. A Burst of Strength up. I mean, he could double block this guy, Which is, yeah, maybe I don't want to do that. In fact, I don't want to do that. If he double blocks, I only kill one guy and he kills my guy. I mean, it makes his board very weak, so it's probably fine, but I think I want to keep swinging in with lands. So I am going to... I think it's pretty obvious if I swing in with this guy too, but maybe it's worth it. I mean, if he blocks with a Sage, he trades, which is fine. I mean, I guess he could actually have Pit Fight again. He can tap this guy, and he has a green, so I mean, he could have a Pit Fight. I'm not that worried about the Skinbrand Goblin, and if it's gonna bait out removal, that's fine by me. So this is what we're going with. I'm gonna leave my Guild Mage back because I don't want him to die. And that's fine. I'm just gonna go ahead and let them trade, assuming they do trade. Okay. So that's perfectly fine. I mean, if I draw another land, I can play 7/6. That's pretty good. And I can give one of my guys a +1/+1 counter. Alright, so there you go. Not really a whole lot I could do there about that, other than not play my guy, but that does not seem great. I mean, I could take his guy and swing for 5, but that's not what I want to do either. So, unfortunately, I'm going to play a Bomber Core and attack for 2. And that's about all we can do there. I mean, I have an Act of Treason and a Ruination Worm, so this game's looking pretty okay. I mean, we haven't won yet, for sure. His deck definitely is pretty strong. At least it feels pretty strong. I don't like going 3 colors for this exact reason. I mean, you never know when you're going to get stuck on 2 of one color and not draw your other colors. In fact, I would almost certainly mull that hand, but the rest of his hand might have been so good that he just figures he has to draw any color mana and he's fine other than green. But that's why I'd much rather play a 2-color deck than a 3-color deck. Okay. So we can definitely play a Ruination Worm. Play Ruination Worm and put a +1/+1 counter on this guy. Or we can play Act of Treason, still a Gyre Sage, and swing for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Obviously he's got to block one. He might have to block his Gyre Sage? Let's see. Let's see here. Plus we have a Burst of Strength. So we still the Gyre Sage, or Gyre Sage, however you want to say that. And swing with all our guys. Then he's got 1 white mana, so I mean, I guess he could have like a Smite or something. Anytime you see like a 1 white mana, that's kind of scary. But let's say he's still the Gyre Sage. Then we swing for 3, 2, and 1 plus the Bomber Core ability. So if he doesn't block anything, he loses. That deals 7 damage. So he's got to block something. Let's say he blocks the Bomber Core. He still takes 6 damage. I'll put 1 to the face with this, for example. So he can't block that. If he blocks the Ivy Lane Denizen, then I can use Burst of Strength on him to keep him alive. And he takes 3, 4, 5. In fact, at that point, 3, 4, 5, I can Burst of Strength to win. And if he blocks the Gyre Sage, then I deal 4 damage. He loses a guy. And I can put a burst of strength on his guy to make him lose both his guys. So, I mean, I can make his guy 4-3 and they trade. I think that's got to be the play here. I could, if this does not work like I expect it to, I mean, he could have some sort of pit fight or something, but this is what we're going to try to do. Alright, so he's floating mana, so there's definitely a pit fight possible here. Nope. He just was, I don't know, giving himself options, I guess. So I think, like, unless I miss something, I think we win here. We either win, or if he blocks the Gyre Sage, we wipe his board. That seems good. Alright, so I mean, obviously I can give my guy a +1/+1 to keep him alive, but let's go ahead and just put the Burst of Strength on this guy, and that should do 5 damage. Unless I'm missing something. Okay, so we will, let's see. So the good news is, if he gets stuck on 2 green mana and can't play anything for 3 or 4 turns, we might win barely. I'll take it. At this point, I will take going to a game 3. My deck is definitely worse than his, so I'll take my chance and see what happens. Not too optimistic, but at least I won a game, and we'll see what happens in game 3. Alright, game 3. Well, we're gonna be on the draw, I think. He mulligans to 6, and he's playing first. I think I'm gonna keep it. I have 2 early guys. If I draw a couple lands, I can play a Denizen. I need to draw lands, but let's see what happens. Alright, he's down to 5. He's down to 5. So doesn't mean we're gonna win for sure, but alright, that's good. I was looking for one of those. Again, I'm gonna play the Goblin first. That's probably going to be problematic, but that's fine. Let's see what happens. I might even wait and play the Denizen before the Guild Mage, but we'll see. Definitely taking that. I mean, for a 5 card hand, he's definitely got 2 lands, but he can untap a gate, and that's fine. Here I think we're gonna attack, because I don't think he's gonna trade. He needs the mana, and the hope is that he doesn't play anything, swings back, and Burst of Strength gets him. I'd rather do that than play the Guild Mage. If it doesn't work this turn, I am playing the Ivy Lane Denizen. Alright, well, that's not great. Of course, he could have a pit fight again, and if he pits fights, we're just kind of SOL, but I think it's worth a shot. Skinbrand's not great. Alright, well, it looks like he's playing a guy. Okay. He's got to be playing someone else, otherwise he wouldn't have done that. Alright, so things are definitely looking pretty bad. He mulled into a super fast, super strong 5-land hand, so I don't really know what to say about that other than sucks to be us, I guess. Gonna play the Denizen. With the Firefist Striker, he can tap one of the guys. So we're gonna keep them both back. I mean, he has to swing with 3 guys. If he swings with this guy, I'll block with my Denizen. And that looks like a Angelic Edict. Yep. So things are not looking good at all. Gonna take 8 here. Yeah, that's bad, for sure. And that's even worse. It doesn't tap my guy, it makes it so he can't block, so I can't even get around it with a Burst of Strength. So things are looking very much not good for us. At this point, I think the Guild Mage and the Ember Beast has to be the play. I'd like to be able to play a Burst of Strength to do something, but I just absolutely have to block some guys at 10. He is out of cards, so he doesn't have any. I mean, he has okay attacks, but unfortunately don't have many options here. I mean, we've seen all the cards he had. He mulled the 5, and his hand was just about as good as you could hope for. I mean, I don't know how you could draw up a better 5-card hand. He might have drew lands he needed. Obviously, he was stuck on land for like a turn or 2, but between the Sage and the Greenside Watcher and the Guild Gate, he was able to hold it down. Alright, well here I'm definitely blocking the Firefist Striker, hoping that those guys can trade. The question is whether I want to try to block the Slaughterhorn and trade here. I am going to be able to pull out a 6-5 next turn. I mean, assuming everything goes according to the way it's looking right now. I don't really want to take 8 when I'm at 10, so I think I have to block here. I mean, I'd much rather keep my guy alive and be able to make 4/4 lands, but I don't have that option when I'm at 10 life. So we go to 5. I mean, a Pit Fight or something here just blows us out, and there's nothing we can do about that. At this point, we're trying to scrape together anything we can to stay alive. If he draws stuff, we're just in trouble. So, all right. Well, that was a land. So we've got a Ripscale Predator that might hold him back for a little while. I mean, he can't attack now. Alright. Things are getting a little bit scary, but it still can't attack super profitably. He can get in 2 damage. Okay, that's good. I mean, that's definitely good. He doesn't have anything that flies, so it's only a 2/4/1. And at this point, I think I'd rather hold it. I can, if he attacks, I can block, or vice versa. They bounce. He deals me 2 damage. Or I could just kill. I mean, killing the Gyre Sage seems good. If I leave a green open, it's pretty obvious that I have a Burst of Strength in my hand. Maybe it's worth it anyway. I haven't seen a single flying card in his deck, so I mean, just killing the Sage right here is probably worth it. Like I said, I have not seen a single flyer, so I'm probably not going to get 3 for 1 out of it. And at this point at 5 life, I don't really want to take 2 plus, you know, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to play it all. And hide the fact that I have a Burst of Strength in my hand. It shouldn't matter on this turn, and if it does, then it does. There's not much I can do about that. I'm not really sure about bluffing extra mana there, or whatever he's doing, because he has 0 cards in hand and nothing that needs mana up on the board. Alright. I definitely do not need more mountains at the moment. My Ripscale Predator is pretty strong, but his deck's so much better. And I already ran through my Guild Mage, and he draws a Guild Mage, we're in trouble. He draws lots of things, we're in trouble. So absolutely, I mean, there's lots of things that are not good. Not good for us. Just hanging on. And regarding the Guild Mage, I think I had to trade it for the Slaughterhorn. I can't take that extra 3 damage. I mean, I'd be at 2 right now. I guess 2's not that much worse than 5, but it kind of is, because any single Greenside Watcher gets through and I lose. So that seems bad. Obviously, I can't really play around any tricks or anything right now so much, because... Alright, so that's bad. That's bad. What can he have? Slaughterhorn, for sure. +3, +2, so make his guy 6/6. He would definitely kill my guy. And I mean, I guess that's the only trick I can play around. I can block here and block here. And I think that is what I'm going to do. I need to keep a Ripscale Predator alive. Alright, so that makes his guy 5/2 first strike, so that's okay. So there you go. I think that worked out better than the alternative. So I would have blocked the other way. If I block the other way, the Shanktail kills my Predator, and then we're in trouble. So the question is whether we want to gamble. I'm definitely playing the Swine. I mean, I can get in for 10 right now. I get in for 10. I didn't see anything that can really get us. But, let's see. We can get in for 10. If he doesn't draw anything, he can't block this guy and we just win. Or we can get in for exactly 15 right now. I guess that's the other possibility, is you could just play to win. So this deals 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I think that does it, and if my math is bad, I deserve to lose. So, alright. So we somehow found a way to win round 1 against a much better deck. And frankly, I think the only reason we won that game is because I blocked the Greenside Watcher with the 6/5 Predator. Because if I would have blocked the other way, we lose. I'm pretty sure we lose. At least we don't just win. So I will see you in round 2. Still don't love the deck, but very happy won round 1. I think we played fairly well, I hope. Let me know what you think, but I'll see you in round 2.